rising quietly at the heart of modern Da Nang, where the city's pulse thrums with the energy of progress and the gentle breeze carries whispers of the East Sea, stands a sentinel from Vietnam's storied past. Dien Hai Citadel. Its moss-laden ramparts and imposing bastions tell tales that stretch across centuries, capturing stories of imperial ambition, colonial incursion, and fierce resistance. Today, as cranes dot the skyline and new structures rise around it, Dien Hai Citadel remains a steadfast reminder of the city's enduring spirit, a living monument whose untold stories still echo in the stones. The origins of Dien Hai Citadel trace back to 1813, nestled in the early dawn of the Nguyen Dynasty under Emperor Gia Long. Its strategic placement was no accident. Da Nang Port, then as now, was a critical gateway for commerce and military passage. The citadel's designers, drawing inspiration from both traditional Vietnamese and Western military architecture, erected a formidable stronghold. Thick earthen walls in a near-square formation, surrounded by a broad moat, with gates facing east and west. It was a symbol of vigilance, a bulwark standing between the city and the threats that lurked beyond the horizon. Yet Dien Hai was never simply a passive observer of history. Its most defining chapter came during one of Vietnam's darkest hours, the French-Spanish invasion of 1858. As colonial ambitions swept across Asia, Da Nang became the first target of joint European forces. The cannons of Dien Hai, cast in bronze and iron during the Nguyen Dynasty, were called into service. 11 of these mighty weapons, still preserved within the citadel today, thundered defiantly against foreign ships in the harbor. Each cannon, adorned with intricate royal insignia and inscriptions, became both a tool of war and a witness to the bravery of those who manned the ramparts. The 2-year siege that followed was grueling. Supplies dwindled, disease took its toll, but the defenders of Dien Hai, soldiers and civilians alike, refused to yield. Their resilience delayed the colonial conquest, forcing a costly stalemate that would ultimately shape the fate of the nation. The battered walls and scorched earth bore silent testimony to the sacrifices made within. In those desperate months, Dien Hai Citadel earned its place not just as a military outpost, but as a crucible of Vietnamese resistance. In the years that followed, as the tides of history shifted and Da Nang grew from a war-ravaged port into a thriving urban center, the citadel gradually faded from the forefront of public consciousness. Urban development encroached on its once sprawling grounds, and time weathered its surface. Yet, the soul of Dien Hai endured, patient, waiting for rediscovery. It was in recent years that Da Nang's leaders renewed their commitment to honoring this legacy. Recognizing the citadel's historical and cultural significance, Vietnamese authorities designated Dien Hai as a national special relic in 2019, a distinction reserved for sites of exceptional importance. With this recognition came a renewed sense of stewardship. In 2022, the city allocated over VND 84 billion, roughly $3.5 million, for the second phase of a comprehensive restoration project. The focus was clear: preserve the authenticity of Dien Hai's original structures, especially the east and west gates that once funneled soldiers and supplies during moments of crisis. A centerpiece of this restoration was the creation of a new underground exhibition space, spanning more than 450 square meters. Here, artifacts unearthed from the citadel's grounds are displayed: rusted musket balls, fragments of uniforms, faded maps and journals, each item a tangible link to the men and women who lived, fought, and died within these walls. Visitors descending into this space are drawn not just into a museum, but into a living narrative woven from the remnants of war and memory. Of special note are the cannons of Dien Hai. In 2023, the Da Nang Museum proposed that these 11 guns be recognized as national treasures, a testament to their historical import. Cast between 1802 and 1860, each cannon is unique, its surface etched with stories of the battles it saw and the hands that fired it. They are more than artifacts. They are warriors, as much a part of the Citadel's story as the men who stood beside them. Their presence is a reminder that resistance is not just an act, but a legacy, passed down and preserved. Surrounding the Citadel, the city itself is transforming. In 2021, Da Nang announced plans for a 9-hectare central square adjacent to Dien Hai, a bold vision to create a symbolic public space that both honors the past and welcomes the future. This square is intended as more than a tourist attraction. It is envisioned as a gathering place for the city's people, a stage for cultural events, festivals, and moments of collective remembrance. Here, the stories of Dien Hai will not be confined to museum cases or history books, but will live on in the songs, performances, and daily rhythms of Da Nang's vibrant community. As the restoration continues, the Citadel's gates once more stand open, inviting both locals and visitors to step back in time. Walking its ramparts, one can almost hear the clamor of preparation, the distant booms of cannon fire, the rallying cries of defenders. The air is thick with the presence of those who came before, soldiers, craftsmen, leaders, and ordinary citizens whose lives were shaped by conflict and hope. Dien Hai Citadel is more than a relic. It is a testament to the enduring strength of a city and its people. Its walls have witnessed the extremes of war and peace, despair and triumph. Today, as Da Nang reimagines itself for a new era, the Citadel remains a guiding star, a place where history is not simply preserved but embraced and celebrated. For those who seek to understand Da Nang, not just as a modern metropolis, but as a community forged by adversity and united by pride, the untold stories of Dien Hai offer a powerful entryway. They are stories of ingenuity and sacrifice, of struggle and renewal, waiting to be discovered in the shadow of ancient walls. And as sunlight filters through the trees and dances across the Citadel's stones, the promise is clear. Dien Hai's legacy will endure, inspiring new generations to remember, reflect, and carry forward the spirit of resistance that has always defined this remarkable city.